Hello, I'm Dragos, and in this video we are going to see how you can work with your 24/7 assistant to go and deploy any Docker application easily on your VPS server or on your Mac machine. This will work with OpenCloud or any other 24/7 assistant that you have installed. And in here basically what we are going to see and how you can configure this is the fact that you can tell your AI agent to just go and install any Docker application that you want, and he will go and install the application on the server, and at the end it will provide you a subdomain or a domain that can work and have the application accessed. So basically with this you are just chatting with your assistant and tell him to just go and deploy some Docker application. In here you see that yesterday, for instance, I've configured this, and what I've asked him to install Docker Hand, Arcane. Basically these are some applications that can help you see what Docker containers are running in there. It's like a portainer alternative, and I've just told him to set these things up for me, and in here you see that he went and did this, and yeah, right now I have the application up and running in there. I have them with an SSL certificate configured, and it can be accessed with an URL. So basically what we're going to do in here, we're going to have like an personal assistant. In my case it's configured to use Discord. Then it will go to a skill that it will tell him to go and deploy the Docker application into a Caddy web server and to the file system, and then it will have the application up and running. And basically in this way you will not need to go and run commands directly on your VPS to set up this Docker application. You can just ask your 24/7 assistant. So basically this is the structure. So yeah, you have the Discord, you have the web server, then you have the Docker with Docker Compose applications, and your AI will be able to do that. For this I've configured my assistant to run on a VPS server. You have like multiple options. I'm using Hesner to host it, and the idea of this is to have like Docker installed first there. So you can ask the agent to go and install these things. So basically you can install Docker with only this command, or you can tell your AI assistant to install Docker for you. Then you need to set up Caddy. So basically what I've created a home folder with the Docker application. So basically in here I have all the Docker applications that my agent will go and install, and Caddy set up like this. You can ask your assistant to just set this thing up for you if you want, and like this it will be easier. You will have like a network that is for the front end where you will put all the containers to work with Caddy. You can use this with Caddy, or you can use this with Traffic, with Nginx. So it's up to you. I've chosen Caddy for this purpose because it's the easiest way to set up. Basically with just one command, the agent will be able to set up a subdomain for your application and it will start working. So in here you see that these things are configured manually in there. So basically what you need the VPS server first, then you will need to create a folder where the Docker application will be stored. In my case it's under the user I have with Docker apps, and then you will have folders for each application, and then you'll have the Docker Compose file with the details. Basically this is how Caddy is set up. You can set this thing up manually, or you can ask your 24 agent to do that, and then when you finish with this you will have the Docker Compose up with -d to have the Caddy running. But to be able to set a subdomain for your application, you will need also a wildcard DNS entry. So basically to spin up subdomains for your application in your DNS provider, in my case it's Cloudflare, I am just going and putting in here in the DNS records and wildcard with AI on my main domain bdoze.com. So basically every time when I will spin up a subdomain, like let's say Uptime, I want to install Uptime, it will be uptime.ai.bdoze.com. It will know to go and redirect the details to this server. So I have a subdomain with the SSL certificate to this. So yeah, you need to set these things up in there to have everything ready. And afterwards, you just go and create a skill for this. So basically, how this will work, it will have a skill where you configure everything and you tell the skill what to do. So basically, in here, if you're using OpenCloud, you can go and in workspaces skills and deploy these skills that I have in this article. I have a custom agent created with Agno in my case, and I'm using that because I am a free control and I want to have my own things built. But you can use this with Cloud Code, Open Code, it's up to you. And basically what this skill it's having these details. It has the name, it's the Docker deploy one. And in here, basically what you are telling the agent through these skills that you have this folder structure. Basically, I have it in Home Dragos Docker Apps Caddy, the Docker application, and in here you see that in here you should be able to create the application for us. It tells it that I have the wildcard DNS set up. It will need to run sudo because this is running on my Dragos user, which is a custom one that has sudo rights. You have the details in this article how you can set this up, and I will put also the video details so you can do that. And in here it tells in how to configure things. So basically I don't want to use docs, I want to have files instead of to do this. And in here it tells it about the Caddy integration and how the things are working. And in here you see that the expected workflow is this: to create the applications, to go and map the services with this, to create in the Caddy the subdomain, to use sudo for this, to put everything in .env in case it has like something that it's sensible like a password. And yeah, there are some guardrails in here, and basically like this you can tell it to do this. And after you configure this in the skill folder on the server, you should have these skills in there. You see that in here I have the skills, and right now the agent is aware of the skills that I have. And what we're going to do, we're going to tell it to just go and use this skill to deploy a Docker Compose application in my case. And I will gonna use uptime for this. I just want to showcase you how this thing is working. And in here I have the Discord bot, and what I will tell it like this. So basically in here I'm pinging the Agno bot, and what I am doing, I'm telling him to use the skill Docker deploy to deploy an uptime application and search online for the latest things about uptime and set this into uptime monitor subdomain. And basically right now I will start the personal assistant, and he will be able to go and just deploy this in a couple of minutes. And after he finish, he will provide me the details with a running instance. So for this I am running the GLM 4.7 with the coding plans that they have to run this agent. I've seen that it is quite good at creating these things for me, and he should not have any problems in setting these things up. And right now, if we're going to check, for instance, the server to see that this thing is running, we're going to see that in here in the logs he should start, and he is going and it's creating all the details for us. So right now you see that he's just chatting with the z.ai, and he is creating all of these things for me. It will take about a couple of minutes because first he will gonna go online and search for the details. It will create the Docker Compose application. He will gonna go and test it. It will gonna set up the subdomain in Caddy, and yeah, at the end we should have something that it's working. So basically in here you see that in the Caddy file he will add the subdomain at the end. When he's finished, we're going to see that, and he should be able to provide us the details with this configuration that he made. But again, this is taking some time because he's setting everything up for us with only the chat. And let's wait for this to finish, and at the end he should provide us the output with what he did. I hope he will be able to create this. He didn't have any problems yesterday when I told him to create for me the Docker compose files for Docker and Arcane. I just want to test this portainer alternatives and have like a new UI for my AI agent and the Docker application that I have on this server. And yeah, let's see what he is able to create for us. So you see it started at 8 and 10, and yeah, I mean in 5 minutes I think he should finish setting this for us. Okay, so right now he finished, so it took 3 minutes for this to finish, and in here you see that he set this up for us, uptimemonitor.ai.bdose.com, and in here you see that it created an Akuma folder. It updated a Caddy file with a port for this 3001 because I already have a 3000 port running in there, and he provided me some details about Akuma. And right now, if we're going to visit this, we should have everything set up, and you see that it provided me all the details that are running in here. If you're going to click this, you are gonna see that you have Akuma installed, and in here you see that you have the HTTPS and it's using the certificate, and right now you are just going and installing the username for this. Let's create one to see that it's working. Set a password and hit create, and right now I have Akuma installed in here and I can go and monitor this. If we're going to check this in let's say Arcane, this is for the containers, you're gonna see that you have the Akuma installed. It's using the latest image. In here you have the details with the port, and right now the AI agent created everything for us. And if we're going to check in here, for instance, the response, you're gonna see that it used a couple of tokens to be able to set these things up, because again it goes online, search for the details, it searches your file system to see what is there, and you see that it took like 764k in tokens to have this set up. And yeah, like this you can have like a skill that can go and deploy things for you in Docker easily, and you are just asking the AI agent to go and have this ready for you, and then you can go and just work with this. And again, if we're going to check in here the project structure, we're going to see that Akuma is set up, and in here we are gonna see that it created a Docker compose and it is Akuma data in this folder. As I told him, if we're going to cut the Docker compose like this, you are going to see that it used the web network for this, and it used the latest image. So basically it did the installation with the minimal thing, which is great, because like this I can tell him to go and just deploy any application that I want, and he will go and search online. It will test it to see if it's up and running, and in case something is not working okay, it will go and troubleshoot it and have it ready for us with just a prompt. So yeah, in case you want to see how you can set up this Discord bot with the things that I've created with Agno, I will add the video into the description. In case you want to use the OpenClaw for this, I will let you a link how you can install OpenClaw easily. So yeah, in case you found this video interesting, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.